Yes, Shubham, introduce yourself first. First of all.
Okay, so myself Shubham Suresh Kodre. I am
Okay,
from Swarapur district, which is having a small village, Purjawalgaon.
okay,
Then currently I am working in Capgemini company.
okay,
In that company, my role is a Java developer. I am working as a software engineer.
okay,
I have 1.7 years experience, and I
okay,
have hands-on experience on OOPS concepts such like as abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, and encapsulation.
okay,
Then
okay,
I have also hands-on experience on collection and exception handling.
okay.
Then in framework, I have worked on Spring
Hmm.
IOC, Spring MVC, Spring Boot, and Spring JDBC.
Okay,
And in web services, I have worked on REST services. And in that REST services, I am consume and produces the data.
okay, okay. No problem. Yes, so we'll start from the core Java. Okay,
Okay.
so yes, Shubham, what is the difference between a JDK, JRE, and JVM?
Okay. So JDK stands for Java Development Kit. JRE
Okay,
stands for Java Runtime Environment, and JVM stands for Java Virtual Machine. So
okay,
JDK is responsible to provide the environment to develop and to execute the code, or to execute the
okay.
application.
Hmm.
Whereas the JRE is responsible to provide the environment to execute the application or
Hmm.
to run the application, and JVM is responsible to execute the line by line code. So so JDK and JRE is a platform dependent, but JVM is a platform independent language. And JDK is a combination of JRE and some development tools, and JRE is a combination of JVM plus libraries.
Okay, yes. Great. Okay, okay, no problem. Okay. So yes, so which modifiers? So how many modifiers are we have in our Java?
Up to 8, there are 11 modifiers available in Java.
Okay. Which are that?
So public, private, protected, then static,
Hmm.
final, abstract, synchronized, strict of copy,
Hmm.
native,
Hmm.
transient, and
Hmm.
volatile.
Okay, no problem. Yes. So what are the modifiers that are applicable for the top level classes?
Uh, there are 5 modifiers applicable at the top of the class, such as
Hmm.
public, default, final, then abstract, and then strict of copy.
Okay, yes, great. Then, what is use of volatile modifier?
So volatile. So if a value of a variable keep on changing by multiple threads,
Hmm.
so there is a chance of a data inconsistency problem. So to overcome that problem, we have to
Hmm.
declare that variable as a volatile. But when we can declare a variable as a volatile, then at that time we can create a separate local copy for each thread. And what are the
Hmm.
modifications are performed by each thread? Are this modification are go to place into that the local separate copy. So that's why remaining threads cannot be affected to each other. So there is a basically use of the volatile keyword.
Okay. Okay. So if I declare the variable as a volatile final, so is it okay?
No, no, the volatile and final is an illegal combination.
Yes. Why? What is the reason?
Because of volatile when we can declare a variable as volatile because
Hmm.
if multiple threads are allowed to operate and that value of a variable keep on changing.
Hmm.
So volatile value are keep on changing, but when we can declare a variable as a final, but once we can initialize that we cannot be perform relation as a final variable. That's why the final and volatile are illegal combination.
Okay, if I declare the volatile variable with a strict table piano modifier, then what will happen?
No, strict of a pre-access modifier which is applicable only for the class and methods, but variable considered not applicable.
Yes, great. Okay. Now, yeah. So let's move to the next questions. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. Move to the questions like collection questions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Shubham, state the 9 key interfaces which are present inside the collection.
Okay, so there are 9 key interfaces are present in collection hierarchy. First collection, second list, third set, fourth sorted set, fifth navigable set, sixth map, 7 sorted map, 8 navigable map, and queue.
Okay. In which JDK version so Q is introduced?
So JDK 1.5 version onwards, queue concept is an introduction.
So okay. What are the new features came in as a part of JDK 1.5 version? So have you idea?
Yes, there are a lot of features are included in JDK 1.5, such as coherent return time, then hierarchy method, then queue concept, then generic concept, then for each loop.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Yes. Great. So for each loop you said. Then what are the parameters of a for each loop? Have you idea?
No, generally take 2 parameters which are associated with an colon, but I am not enough knowledge about that concept.
Okay. Great. Okay. No problem. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. So what is the difference between hash table and hash map?
Okay, so in hash table, so what are the methods are present in hash table are synchronized, but what are the methods are present in hash map are not synchronized.
Okay.
So in hash table at the time only one thread is allowed to operate on hash table object, but in hash map there are multiple threads is allowed to operate on hash map object.
Okay.
Their hash table relative performance is low, but in hash map relative performance is high. Then hash table is an thread set, but hash map is not by default as a thread set. In hash table, we cannot take null as well as value as key as an value as a null, but in a hash map we can take only one null key, but multiple value as a null.
Okay. Yes. Okay. You said we can take the only one's null key inside the hash map. Then inside the hash table, so where this entry will get added? Have you any idea?
Yes, in bucket.
Okay, yes, yes. Which bucket? So for a null key, how hash code will get calculated internally? Have you any idea about that?
In which hash table or hash map?
Yes, yes. You said hash map contains or allows only one null key. Okay. Okay. And internally, when we call the put method, and internally key hash code will get calculated. Okay. And when we add a null as a key dot something text we have passed, then null hash code will get null key. Null is key, and then what is the hash code for that null?
Sorry, I don't know about the internal implementation of the hash map.
Okay, great. No problem. No problem. Yes. So, what is the difference between a hash map and a hash set, Shubham?
Okay, hash map and hash set.
Yes, yes. Hash
okay, so in hash set, just having only one object. There is no having key value pair in hash set, but in hash map there is having a key value pair. Okay, so insertion order is not preserved in hash set, but objects are inserted according to hash code of an objects. But in hash map, objects are inserted and not preserved, but objects are inserted according to some hash code of an key. Okay.
Yes, okay.
So in their hash set, only one null object is allowed, but in hash map, only one null key is allowed, but multiple values are null is allowed.
Okay,
Okay.
yes.
Hmm.
Yes, what is the difference between a set and a list, Shubham?
Okay, so in list, insertion order is preserved, but in set, insertion order is not preserved. In list, duplicates are allowed, but in set, duplication is not allowed.
Okay.
Then in list, there is no having predefined implementation class for sorting, but in set, there is having predefined class for sorting. Hmm.
Okay. Yes, okay. Yes, so what is the, okay, hash map key. Okay. Okay, hash map key, which two method required to implement? Inside the hash map key object, okay, so let's, underline this sentence, Shubham. So hash map key object, what is, and what are the important methods we have to implement?
So for keys,
For key object.
so key set is a method, then get method.
Okay. Yes, okay, so that is enough for the connection. So let's move to the string. Yes, what is the string, Shubham?
Okay, string is a set of sequence of character as included in double quote. It's known as a string.
Yes, okay, no problem. Then, what is the difference between a string and a string builder?
Okay, string and string builder. Okay, so string is immutable in nature, but string builder is not immutable in nature. Okay, then in string dot equals method is override for content comparator. No, sorry, sir, there is no difference. Okay, so in string SCP concept is an applicable, but string builder SCP concept is not applicable. So string is an all the methods of string are synchronizable, but alter the methods of string buffer as builder not synchronized.
Okay.
So at the time only one thread is allowed to operate on string object, but there are multiple threads allowed to operate on string buffer object, builder object. So string are introduced in JDK 1.0 version, but string buffer are introduced in string builder are introduced in JDK 1.5 version.
Okay, yes. So what is immutable class?
Okay, immutable class. Okay, string and alter the offer classes are the immutable classes.
Then I said, what is immutability?
Okay, so immutable means once we can create an object that we cannot be perform any changes on that existing object. So if we are trying to perform any changes in existing object, and if changes occur, then new object will be created for those newly created content. And if changes is not occur, then previous object is reused. So this is non-behavior change is nothing but the immutability.
Okay, yes. So, okay, yes. So I want to make, so string buffer is what? String buffer is a mutable or immutable?
No, mutable.
Mutable object, okay. So I want to create, or I want to make the string buffer object as an immutable. Then how to do that things?
Okay, so in string we have one constructor such as string yes is equal to new string, and we have one argument such as a string buffer object. String buffer. So we have to pass required to string buffer object to the string. So then will be our object will be get immutable.
Yes, great. Yes. Okay, yes. Then is how to create our own immutable class?
Yes, we can do that. So to create our immutable class, we have to declare class as a final. Because no any can extend or cannot be created child class for this class. Then declare field as a private. So private because no one can access to outside the class. Then provide only getter method, don't provide the setter method. And make a mutable field as a final because only one assign is allowed. So basically these steps are
Okay, is there any other instead of that? That's it.
No.
Okay, yes. Okay, so let's move to the singleton area. So what is singleton basically, Shubham, in Java?
So singletons is if any class we ought to allow to create only one Java object. So this class is nothing but a singleton class.
Okay, so why we should go for the singleton classes? Is there any reason behind that?
Yes, there is a big one of the big reason behind it. So if a multiple users having the same requirement, so instead of creating a new object or separate object for each requirement, user's requirement, so instead of that, create only one single object and reuse that object for remaining requirements. So this is the centralized idea of this singleton. And therefore the memory utilization will be fulfilled and performance will going to be increased. So this is the centralized idea behind the singleton class.
Okay, so how to make our own singleton class?
Yes, we can make our own singleton class to define a private static member, so data fields such as private static. Make constructor has a private. Okay, and then provide a static factory method.
Okay, yes. So, yes, okay. Singleton is a design pattern or scope?
It is a scope.
Okay, no problem. Yes, okay. Let's see. So tell me about some methods inside the string class, key methods and their uses.
Okay, so there are a lot of methods present in string, but key methods such as the length method. So main method can be used to calculate the length, then to uppercase to convert the all lower letters into uppercase, then to lowercase to convert the all lowercase into to all convert uppercase into to lowercase. Then index of and specifying the character, then it returns the first occurrence of an given first index of a given character. Okay. Then last index of, then passing the character, they give last occurrence of an index for a given specified the character. Then split method. Split method having some regis pattern. By using that we can split the method and it returns the some string array. Then substring. So substring is an overloaded format. So first string substring it returns some starting index to end index. And another substring take two parameters, start index and end index. End index return n-1 returns up to some parameters.
Okay, great. Okay, no problem. Yes. So have you heard about any? Do you have idea about the SCP? Why they implement the SCP? So explain.
Yes. So SCP. So SCP, because SCP stands for string constantful. So basically our string object is the most popular object. So we can use a string object in anywhere. So that's why some microsystem people can provide some memory management tools such as SCP. And due to SCP means a string constantful, our class make as immutable. So in our class, some same like as in our class, if our string object is multiple times used, so creating a new object for multiple requirement, so create only one object and reuse that remaining requirements. That's why memory utilization will be fulfill and performance going to also increases. But there is one of the biggest disadvantages behind the SCP is that in SCP, there are a lot of references are pointing to the only one object, and by using that reference, if you are modifying that content, so remaining reference also get affected. So this is one of the biggest disadvantages. To overcome this advantage, so this classes are make as immutables. So this is the story behind that.
Okay, what is the intern method? Have you idea? about the inter method.
Yes, yes. So inter method can be used to get corresponding SCP object reference.
Okay, so where SCP object will be created or SCP area will be there inside the
In method area. In method area, SCP object will be created.
Okay. Yes. Okay. SCP area is a thread shape.
Which?
SCP area is a thread shape.
Yes, SCP area is in thread shape.
Okay, no problem. Yes. Okay. Yes. Let's move to the next chapter. That is exception.
Mm-hmm.
So, Shubham, what is the exception? Can you explain?
Yes, yes. So exception means an unwanted or unexpected event occur and that disturb the normal flow of execution. So it's known as the exception.
Okay. Yes. What is the difference between a throws and throw keyword?
Throw and throws keyword. So throw keyword can be used to hand over the explicitly object created to the exception handling object created to the JVM. And throws keyword can be used to delegate the exception handling responsibility to the caller. So yes.
Yes. Let's continue.
So
Go ahead.
throw keyword can be used with inside the method, whereas throws keyword can be used with an method signature.
Okay.
Then with the help of the throw keyword, we can throw only one exception, but with the help of the throws keyword, we can throw multiple exceptions.
Okay, so can I throw by using the throw keyword? Throw, not a throws. Okay. By using the throw keyword, can I throw any compile time exception? Checked exception.
Yes. We can throw checked exception
By using the throw keyword. Okay. No. Yes. Yes. So, okay. So, what is the difference between finally and finalize method? So, finally and finalize.
Okay. So finally is an access keyword. It is like a keyword which is applicable only for the finally block. So finally block is responsible to perform the cleanup activity. That is what are the resources are opened inside the try block. So that resources are closed inside the finally block. So this is the responsibility of the finally block. And finalize method is responsible to perform the cleanup activity associated with an object. So what are the objects are associated with, what are the resources are associated with an object, then that resources are deallocated before that destroying the object. So basically these are the difference between the final and finalize.
Okay, yes. So have you heard about the final? Okay.
Yes.
Final keyword. Yes. What is the final keyword?
So final is an access modifier which is applicable only for the classes, variables and methods. Okay. So when we can declare class as a final, then that class cannot be created child class or anyone cannot be extend that class. Then when we can declare a variable as a final, then we cannot be really initialize that variable. Then we can declare a method as a final, then we cannot be override that final inside the child class.
Okay, so I have one final class. Inside the final class, there are 4 methods. So one is a M1 method, which is having a public modifier. Okay, and all methods having a public modifier. So and I have extend. So we can't create the child class for the final classes. Okay. So can I use that methods outside the class?
No, because inside the final class, all the method by default has a final implementation.
Okay.
So we cannot be carry out that method of our outside class or outside package.
Okay. I said use, not an override.
No, we cannot do that.
Okay, yes. Okay. No problem. Yes. So what is the when I make the object as a final, then what will happen, Shubham?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes. What when I make a object as a final, then what will happen? Okay.
Object. So did you mean कि suppose student class and student just is equal to student and
Okay,
data I make?
suppose, for example, Shivam, okay, so there is one object, student object, okay,
Yes,
new
yes.
student object, and I make that object as a final, then what will be the happen?
So final access modifier is only applicable only for the parameters, not for the object references.
Yes, okay, great. Now let's move to the next questions. Yes, okay, so let me go to the yes, okay. What is the Spring, Shubham?
So Spring is an open source, lightweight, loosely coupled, non-invasive, dependency-based injection, complete and modular component are developed by Rod Johnson in 2003.
Okay, so you said Spring is a complete and modular. So can you explain some of the things why complete and modular it is?
So with the help of the Spring framework, we can develop all the layer of application, or with the help of the Spring framework, we can develop particular layer of application. So that's why it is an complete and modular.
Okay, yes, no problem. So why Spring is a lightweight? So have you any idea?
Okay, so Spring is lightweight in multiple ways because some Spring framework are came in set of the jar files, and the jar files are having in a MB size. Then there is no heavyweight container is required to run the application. Then it supports the POJO and POJI model. Then Spring frameworks are divided into different modules, and these modules are independent with each other.
Okay. So suppose I have a POJO class.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So this is a real-time scenario. So this is mostly asked questions, some of interviewers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have a POJO class and I have service class.
Mm-hmm.
Then tell me which is costly to use,
Costly?
POJO class or costly to use? Okay. Don't go there. So I have one interface and I have one class. So which one is easy to use or which is not costly to use? We will not get to cost. Okay. Or performance wise, which one is good? Class or interface?
Okay, so performance wise, interface is good.
Okay. So is there any reason?
So because performance wise, because what are the method inside the interface, we should have to compulsory override in child class. Okay, yes. So yes, so what are the methods are required in implementation class? Then those methods we have to define or declare inside the interfaces. So there is no need to extra or extra some extra methods cannot be required to define inside the interface.
Yes. Okay. No problem. Yes. Yes. What is the use of qualified annotation?
Qualifier annotation can be used to resolve the ambiguity between the auto-airing.
Okay. So can you elaborate that concept? So how we so with the example how we achieve that qualified annotation, where we annotate that qualified annotation. And so with an example, so create one example and tell. Okay, so tell me that example.
Okay. So
in that case, we can do like that. We can use that qualified annotation. So that scenario we can create here, generate.
Okay, so so before that we have to know what is meant by auto-airing. So auto-airing means it is an automatic dependency injection.
Okay.
So if we can declare two objects such as we have to make two class objects which will have same class name, and then in configuration file there may be ambiguity problem to create some object for a particular classes.
Okay. So, how many, yes, sir, let it that, okay, let it go. Okay, how many way to perform the dependency injection in your Spring? Okay.
Okay, there are two ways to perform dependency injection in Spring.
Okay, yes, which of that?
Setter dependency injection and constructor dependency injection.
Yes, okay, so, okay, no problem. Yes. So what is the, I mean, setter dependency injection can allow the circular dependency?
Yes, circular. It is an allowed to circular dependency injection.
Then what is the circular dependency?
So circular dependency means a class can extend itself.
Okay, yes, class can extends itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, no problem. Yes, so constructor. So I have my I'm sorry, in my bin. Okay, I have constructor is there, and I have also setter method. Okay. Then which one will get first priority to create the object, and which one will get perform? Constructor will get perform or setter will get perform?
Because inside in our Spring configuration, while setter dependency is also there and constructor dependency also there, then it will perform the setter dependency injection, because setter dependency injection override the constructor dependency injection.
An object will get created which
and the IOC container create an object with the help of the parameter as a constructor.
Okay, yes, okay. Suppose in my class I have setter methods, and but I don't have any constructors. Okay, then who will create the constructor? So compiler is created constructor, or container is created constructor?
Constructor is responsible to create an object.
Okay, container is responsible to create the constructor. Okay, no problem. Okay, yes, okay. So if I make that constructor as a private, then what will happen?
If I have to make a constructor as a private, then we cannot create an object for that particular class, and we cannot override that class in another class.
Yes, okay, no problem. So in Spring, is it possible to take a private constructor or create the object by using a private constructor for the bins?
No.
Okay, yes. Great. Now here, so what are the key annotation you have used in a Spring framework? Okay, so it's a Spring framework.
What?
I mean, what are the key annotations? Okay, you have used in a Spring framework, not in a Spring Boot.
Okay. So annotation
sorry. Instead of stereotype annotation. So okay, instead of stereotype annotation, tell me the other annotation. These are key annotation you have used in our Spring framework.
Okay, so attribute, then required, then qualifier, among then component scan.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes. No problem. Then, so have you used any MVC architecture?
Yes.
Yes. So what is the flow of MVC architecture? Then how our Spring MVC application will get? What is the flow of our Spring MVC application?
Okay, so MVC architecture. So basically, when client send a request to the server, then first controller is in our dispatcher server. So dispatcher server will receive that request and send that request to the handler mapping to know the appropriate controller for the given request. Then handler mapping can receive that request and find the appropriate controller for the given request. Once he find the appropriate controller, then he send that request response to the dispatcher servlet. Again, dispatcher servlet send this request to the appropriate controller, Then appropriate controller can receive that request, perform that request, and send a model and viewer object to the dispatcher servlet. Then dispatcher servlet took note the view page, so dispatcher servlet send that request to the view resolver. Then view resolver generate an view page path and send back response to the dispatcher servlet. Now dispatcher servlet bind that found data and singularly and send back response to the client.
Okay, so what are the, you have used view resolver. What are the implementation classes for the view resolver?
Okay, so internal view resolver, XML view resolver, resource bundle view resolver, and URL based view resolver.
Okay, so have you used Spring JDBC?
Yes.
What is the difference between a traditional JDBC approach and Spring JDBC approach? Is there any changes?
Yes, there are a lot of changes are there.
Okay.
So in traditional JDBC, we have to perform each and every activity to perform the connectivity. So this is a very time-consuming process. So there is a big process and a lot of things are required to perform the connectivity. But in Spring JDBC, everything is in auto configuration. So auto configuration. So some things are in automatic embedded, or some things are automatic configuration. So with the help of the JDBC, then grateful.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, is there any exception-related things are coming into the JDBC? Spring JDBC. Exception-related things.
Yes, maybe they are come, but I don't know about that.
Okay, yes, no problem. So, okay, yes. So, which class is introduced by the Spring in JDBC? And that is an important class.
JDBC template.
Okay, yes. So, what are the key methods are present inside the JDBC template?
So, methods for the JDBC template. So, query for object, then update, then query for list, then query.
Yes. What kind of queries we can perform by using the query, by using the update is there, and by using the execute. Okay. So this kind of methods are present inside there. Okay. These are key methods. No problem. One is a query method is there, execute method is there, and update method is there. Okay. Then what kind of queries? DML queries we can perform by using the query method. Then which kind of query? Can you explain that?
Okay, so update query can be used to perform some insert update delete or some insert update delete operations. So DML command, and query for object or query. These things can be used for to retrieve the data, such as select.
Okay.
So basically there.
Query and execute method. What is the use of execute method? Have you know?
Okay, so execute method generally are used for the perform some delete operation, I think.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So can I perform the? So you don't have enough information about the execute query. So let's move to the next questions about that. Okay, have you? How many? Models. Spring framework divided into the which models? Have you idea?
Yes, there are 6 models are present in Spring framework.
Okay, which are that?
So Spring Core model, Spring Context model, Spring DAO model, Spring ORM model, Spring OOP model, and Spring WebMVC model.
Okay, have you used Spring Context?
Yes.
Then what is in that Spring Context?
So in Spring Context, having some containers, so like application context container, and it is generally is an eager loading.
Okay, yes, no problem. Yes, okay. So let's move to the Spring Boot application. So yes, what is a Spring Boot application? Have you idea?
So Spring Boot is an framework of an Spring. So it's one type of model of a Spring framework, and which is provide some rapid application development.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. Now, what are the initial components of a Spring Boot application? Idea? Initial?
No.
No, okay, yes, no problem. Then how many ways to create the Spring Boot application?
There are multiple ways to create some Spring Boot application, such as Spring Boot Initializer, Spring Boot CLI, then Spring Starter Project, then Spring Starter Project Wizard.
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 Yes, yes, no problem. No problem. We can do like that. You can pronounce like that, wizard. Yes, okay. Now let's move to the next questions. Okay, what is the auto configuration in a Spring Boot?
Okay, so auto configuration such as embedded containers. So what are the servers which are required for the run the Spring Boot application? Then that resources or that container are embedded inside the Spring Boot.
Okay, yes, no problem. So what are the embedded containers are present in the Spring Boot?
Tomcat, JT, and Dorto.
Okay, so what is so have you idea about the starters in a Spring Boot?
Starters, dependencies.
Yes, starters. So dependencies. What will lead their dependencies in our Spring? What is the role of these dependencies in your application?
Yes.
That is new question. So sometime interviewer asks that question, so you require to prepare that question. Okay.
So it is one kind of some auto configuration. So what are the set of the jar files we are required to perform some Spring Boot application, or what are the application? So by using that dependency, we can perform to that. So internally it will download, and by default it is available to us.
Okay, which build tool you have used to develop the Spring Boot application or Spring application?
Maven.
Okay, what are the key features of a Maven? Have you known?
No.
Okay, yes, no problem. So yes, Shivam. Okay, so I have completed from my side. So basically, everything is fine. Okay, do preparation. So it's okay. Yes. Do you have any question?
No.
Okay, great.